Welcome back to Court of Swords here with the Necromancer King Two Shot. Adam, we're entering into the Monk's Tower thing.
Yeah, so you're walking into, unless anybody doesn't want to go in, you're walking into the formerly sanctified grounds of this temple, this now burned temple to the sun. And so now everyone can see what I described before, right? A small building to their left as you come in. Straight ahead of you, a huge ruin of a temple with the icon of the sun buried under rubble. And then to the right, another building that's been reduced to walls with a few like little tents set up where these monks might be resting. The monks are looking at you in the way that they're looking at you like you're ghosts. They're all kind of like literally ashen faced, but also metaphorically, and are just staring like wide eyes at the group of you as you walk in. The monk that was kneeling with the one that's talking to you stands up and talks to them about something, so in a language none of you understand, and the group of them all kind of like move away from you so that you and this monk that led you in, the priest, can speak. And so the priest says to, I guess, Daxa, says, you find yourselves in a ruined house, now called Falling Sun. This place was sacred, and like the fields, the hills, and the world itself, no more. Sanctity is dead. We pray for its end. There's food. And he gestures, and you can see that there's some supplies that have been kind of piled in the back, but they seem untouched. They definitely have been like scavenged, right? You see maybe a barrel of rice wine, some hardtack. They look like they came from the cellar of a house maybe, or an inn, but none of it is opened. The keg is untapped, that sort of thing.
So all this food, none of it's been touched yet?
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Do you make it clear that you're suspicious? Like, do we see that on your face when you look over the food and notice it hasn't been touched?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely
okay.
looking at it.
The monk says, "You are welcome, of course, to it. For us to eat would be blasphemy, prolonging the end."
So I guess like we can take the like rations, but how do we what would it be to check if they're like poisoned or otherwise not fit for eating?
Yeah, I mean, you could go and like smell them and like taste some of it to see, but I mean, I don't think any of you are expert poisoners.
Doggy.
No.
Oh, but anyway, I'll go over and I'll look at the food and if it looks like it's been like it's too old to eat, like if it looks like it's edible.
Make an investigation check.
All right, let's see.
A 9, huh? Yeah, I mean, it seems untouched to you. Like I said, the barrel is still like untapped. The meat is still in its its packaging. But you didn't see it when it was prepared, right? So it's hard to say. What's everybody? So while Luther takes some time to look over that, what's everybody else doing? Particularly Daxa. Are you talking to the priest at all, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to be friendly with him.
Sure. So he says to you, I guess, while Luther, he says to you, I assure you, the food is quite safe. We do not eat it out of choice, not necessity. What is your name, soldier?
Regarding the food, I am like, oh, I'm sure he's sensitive stomach. He's just looking to see if it's the right kind of food that he can eat. My name is Daxa. They call me Daxa the Song. Yours?
I had a name once. I gave it up when the world died. Now I am called Screams of the Dying, who are forgotten by heaven.
Oh, that's lovely.
And the others kind of murmur, like when they say their own name, and kind of nod, like yes, yes.
Yeah. How long have you been here?
Too long. Forever. The cycle continues.
I I understand what he's saying.
Yeah, totally. And he says, we hope that this is an end to the turning of the wheel. The world will die, and we will all be taken up to heaven for the birth of a new world. This one is corrupt, a ruin. We pray for its end.
Oh, yes, corruption. I know so much about, like, having lived in the city and kind of writing songs about, like, cultural things. Daxa probably has a lot of songs under her belt that are about, like, government corruption and, like, you know, for the people kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm just kind of, like, looking around and, like, is there perhaps, we are very tired, you know, having walked very far to get here. Is there somewhere where we can perhaps rest for the night?
He shakes his head. There is no rest to be had here. Prayers must continue. The chant must go on. We've lost so many disciples to exhaustion, but still, and he looks almost sadly like we remain. Like he's like, the ones that died, they're lucky. We're just trying to like wait for death, and we're the toughest ones, and there's no sleep to be had.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, that is very noble of you. The four of us, though, have a sort of a mission, shall we say, to spread the word of how life is suffering to the rest of the area. So
When you say mission, the monk kind of gaps out on everything else you said after that, and just is like staring at you, and they say, "You have been sent here by fortune, I think, to confront the Vilopana that dwells in the swamp." And he nods like, "Oh yes, that's why you're here. Now I know."
do I know what that word means when he says
You can make an Arcana check if you want to.
Okay.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna
Or
motion for Mop to come over here and offer him
Or
some food.
no, you're like Vilobana. Nope. It sounds like, so there's a language that the monks use that's supposed to be like the language of heaven. All of their chants are written in it. It sounds like a word in that. I'll give you that for a 4.
okay.
Okay. What you
Sounds like a monk word.
Yeah.
Luther, you're gesturing me to come eat the food? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like come on over here.
Commander, you eat the food.
It looks good. Test it out.
I look at the
Yes.
food and
Shotgun this rice wine. It's fine. You'll
it
be
does
okay.
look very good, but
All right,
I turned to Belial, you should eat the food. We can go
One
back
of
to
the
Dax.
acolytes, they're like quite young. They're maybe like 12 or 13. And they're sitting near you, Mop, and they're like rubbing their hands together, and they nod and say, the food is quite good if you wish to continue living.
God, it's just like a room full of atoms. Fuck it. Stupid living.
I'm just like staring at the food. I'm not making any gestures. We can jump back over to Daxa.
So when he said the Villabhana thing, I was just like, yes, the Villabhana. Mop, and I like kind of motioned to him. Are we here? Where the mission? Are we here for the Villabhana? I like look at the guy like, did I say that right?
Yeah, and he nods like he's like, yes, of course, like that's why.
Because I'm trying to say to him so he can do an Arcana check because I didn't know what it was, but maybe as a he'll know.
Yeah, I'll make one.
Oh, good. The same. Yeah, definitely. It's a word in the sacred language of monks, which somehow has slipped your mind completely.
What occurs to me when I hear that word, the Arcana check occurred to me that is something of the Arcana, and I turn to Belial and say, "Do you?"
Bellion.
Or yeah, I keep saying Belial because of Diablo. Sorry, Bellion.
Belial's like, hey man, what's going on?
Yeah, hey guys, how's it going? I just popped in here. It's crazy.
I love this place.
This place is great. Let's go get some items. I turned to Dim, as we'll say.
Yeah.
Do you know this word?
When you look at Dim is currently like he's the end of his staff is lit, and he is just going over everything, trying to figure out how the people in here died, where the monks came in. He's just like scanning the ground like for dust patterns and figuring out like what happened here, what where stuff dragged around, and then you interrupt him. He's like, what? Of what? What'd you say?
Daxa, can you repeat the word?
Villabana? Vilhapana.
Yeah.
Oh, Villabana. Oh,
Okay. All right.
14.
You got 14. There you go. Okay. So yeah, it's a word. It's a word in the sacred language of heaven. And it translates loosely to like flatterer or the praiser. Its title.
with my great vast arcane knowledge, it refers to like a flatterer. Could be something that seduces.
Yeah, there's no question in your mind. It's the name of a demon. It's a foul name. It's not a title that would be meant for like a person.
Yeah, it's not. It would be from the forbidden sections of the arcana that we're not allowed to investigate. So probably something demonic.
Absolutely.
Want to cut a small piece of meat and then walk over with the meat in my hand and ask the monk, how do you know of our mission?
And he says, until you walked through the gates, I knew not, but upon seeing you, it became clear. The influence of this creature is strong in these lands. To kill it would be to loosen the Mara's grip on our world and consign it further to the grave. It cannot die with their hands upon it.
I'm picking up what Luther's putting down. Say, yes, that is our mission. We require rest before completing it, though. Can we rest here?
He nods. You may try.
Does that mean you will interrupt us?
They kind of look at you like, interrupt? No, the chant must continue. Our funeral must go on. But you may rest here. It is as good a grave as any.
Yes. I kind of look towards Luther without a corner of my eye.
With the meat in my hand, kind of moving it around and see if his eyes follow or if he thinks anything of it.
Yeah, the monks, I mean, you notice now being close to them, like they're all like pretty like malnourished and like exhausted. Their eyes are all bloodshot. Like they're dying of starvation.
Yeah. And if any more like looking like they're thinking about, oh man, that meat would be so tasty. But
I think like the acolytes are probably not as like the two monks are definitely like in on this jam. Maybe there's like that younger acolyte is kind of like eyeing the food, but yeah, you get the impression that they're like waiting for you to eat it or whatever.
Okay. I'll say the monk that's been speaking to us. I'm glad that you.
I'm sorry. Do you mean screams of the dying who have been abandoned by heaven?
Screams the dying. Yeah. This one. I'm glad that you're familiar with our mission. We've lost our way. Do you have any information that would help us?
He says, yes, a marshland to the west. The corruptor dwells there. You will find him waiting, as is ordained by heaven.
Does this corruptor happen to have anything to do with the rising of the dead?
He shakes his head and he says, I do not know. He serves the Mara, as does the king of the dead. Both serve to end the world.
I'll put the meat in my mouth and not really take a bite, but just kind of hold it there and look at the acolytes. Give them a little wink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. One of them like touches their stomach gently.
All right. I'll step back to look at the food more. That's all I had.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems safe. You don't die. None of the monks are like, "Ha, sucker, we got you." So, you're fine.
That was
Well,
easy.
that wasn't the point. I was just kind of
Yeah.
more messing with them, like, ha ha.
Like
Anyway,
confetti
no.
cannons go off, and they're just like, "You got murdered."
You're dead.
They're like big banners come down. They're like, "Ha ha, sucker."
This trap is so effective.
Well,
Damn.
I am gonna eat some of it though. I'm not immune to poison, but I am of disease, so I'm not really worried about it that much.
So can we do like I guess a short rest, or do we want to do like shifts where someone stays awake to make sure these monks don't ambush us in our sleep?
Yeah, we definitely do shifts. Normal routine where we can look out.
Okay. I mean, I think that it's making the best of a bad situation. If you want to take a long rest, everybody needs to make a con save. We'll say DC 13. If you make it, you can rest. If you don't, the heat, the bugs, the chanting, the general stink of death keeps you from resting.
Oh,
What about a short rest?
Yeah, I mean, you could take a short rest. It's only an hour. It'll be real
Sir
dark
Mage,
by the
can
time
you
you're done.
can you place us a
Like-
tent?
I'm gonna set up my tent again. Can I sleep alone tonight? Is that? I don't like having you guys in my space. I just need alone time.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, it's my tent, and I don't want you to go in there.
So the monks are not, they're not about the idea of you like casting spells in here. If you want to, you can sleep outside the temple grounds if you want to cast your spell and like go into your tent. But in here, they're like, no, you can't do that shit here. This is
Because we
sacred.
can do a short rest, and I can use the Song of Rest to help with hit points.
Yeah.
That's cool. Rather than trying to do con saves for everyone for
Yeah.
a long rest.
I think we're pretty much full on HP. It's just getting back class resources. I'll get mine back, but Dan won't get any of his spells back, and I don't think Ken will get back their spells on a short rest.
Well, if we can
Either-
talk Dan into casting the tent, then last time it was cool inside, and maybe we won't have to make the con saves.
Yeah, I think if you sleep in the tent, you'll be okay. It's totally fine. You can take a long rest. You don't have to worry about it because it'll be cooler. The sound of the bugs will be muffled. Like you'll have that safe environment to rest in.
Okay. So then I turn to the monk and I say, "Well, Mr. Screams, we are going to rest just outside the temple. Our friend here, Bellion, will be casting like putting up a tent for us to rest in so that we won't disturb your singing."
The monk looks at you and looks over at Bellion and says to you, Bellion, like kind of across the way, place little faith in the magic of the fountain. It grows dry and emits only the dust of bones. And then turns to look at you and like bows to you, Dexa, and says, good luck on your mission. The corruptor is strong. I hope that you die admirably.
Thank you. And I like kind of bow a little bit. And as I'm like walking away, I'm like, I hope we die admirably too. Just like in agreement with him, even though I don't.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great. And then I guess we take can we take rations from the meat pile or whatever?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking
There's
some food.
enough. I mean, there's not a ton of food here. There's enough to feed you like tonight and then tomorrow, like today and tomorrow. So 2 days worth of rations, but that's it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Better
Yeah.
than nothing.
Okay.
It's still
So
something.
you leave the temple grounds. I assume you conjure up the magical hut. And all of you go in to rest in this kind of semi-alternate dimension of cool and calm. And outside, the monks continue to perform their own funeral. So here's the thing. They've alerted you to, and as a paladin, you would know, like they've alerted you to the presence of a servant of the Mara, the great tempter demons that want to drag mankind away from their glorious enlightenment, enemies of heaven. A servant of the Mara is in embodied form a terrible, terrible thing to have around. A necromancer is one thing, a demon is another. And yes, you could go west into the marsh to try to find and kill this thing, but that might mean you don't have enough food to get home. It might mean you die at the hands of a demon. You could also leave it here and head north to the camp and return to the forward base. And if you do so, you do acknowledging that there is a demonic cancer growing in this place that you have left behind. And I don't know how you and your faith feel about that, Luther, but this is a thing I think worth discussing in the special space of your tiny hut.
Yeah. So it's definitely weighing on his mind, and also, Luther doesn't want to go back to camp with the way that things are. Like the Legion has been wiped out under his command. He would like to go back with something aside the fact that this demon is on the world, and he doesn't like that. So, in his mind, he definitely wants to. Well, Luther doesn't really care if he makes it back alive at this point. So he would rather go die.
Luther has a strange premonition that his life is only like 2.5 hours long now. So
well,
he's kind of like
he's
whatever, dog.
I'm trying to role play in a way that he's all the weight of all these deaths is on his shoulders, and if he goes back, then he may, I don't know, he may even be put to death because maybe there was an order for him not to continue. So yeah, I think he definitely wants to go. But,
so do you say that to your companions, or you're like, we have to do this one last heroic act, or are you like, no, fuck this, let's go home, or do you just stay quiet and brood?
I'm gonna brood for a bit, but I'm also gonna, like, while everyone's up and talking, they can discuss between themselves, and I'll take a listen. And yeah, but he's brooding.
Okay.
The fountain is dry. It's dry in here, is all I know.
Yeah, you need to cast Leomund's tiny evaporator.
Humidifier.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, so Luther seems lost in thought. Belian is grumbling to himself. Daxa and Mop, what are the two of you doing as you get ready to rest?
I'm tuning my lute.
Okay.
I'm thinking back to the path that led me here, and realizing that I haven't had cards read to me or like my fortune read in a long time. So I approach the only person I think would have the ability to do so in Belian and say, do you have a deck of the Arcana?
Why do you want it?
Well, it might help us if you told us our fortunes.
It's very, 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 very bad luck to take your own fortune. But I could do yours, but I can't read. Reading my own would be very, very, very bad.
Okay. I'd like that if you don't mind.
It's 5 gold.
I mean, that's reasonable. It's a sacred duty.
I turn around. 5 gold?
Got a lot of good deals for you, stranger.
You have to sacrifice for it to work. It's not for me. It's for the gods.
It's a very good deal, Mop. After all, we are staying in this lovely accommodation that is not too dry, for free. Also, once I had my fortune read, and it cost me 15 gold and a chicken. Like, go back to tuning my guitar.
Well, that's a lot.
Entire chicken.
Okay. And I count out 5 gold. Put it in front of Mr. Dim. All right, there you go.
Okay. Well, only done this a couple of times, so So I'm sorry if I have trouble remembering certain things, so just bear with me, but we'll get through this. I reach into my magic pouch and pull out a set of the tarot, and
So what do your cards look like, Belian?
they are very shiny, like black cards with the back is sort of like metallic, like it has
cool.
a nice shimmer to it.
Yeah, so expensive looking. Do they look well used or like still in sort of pristine condition?
Like that, like you got the cards and haven't really used them much. They're still really crisp and like
you keep them
stick
in
together
plastic
a little bit.
sleeves. And,
Yeah.
okay. Right.
These were
Right.
from the Court of Wands and very, very nice.
Okay. All right. So you begin to move the cards in your hand, shuffling them, and at some point you now I guess my question is are you doing this like legit? Are you going to like do it for real, or do you want to fake it and draw like a specific card? Because you have the option to do either.
I think we'll do it for real.
Okay.
This one.
All right. So we'll draw a random one. All right. So you begin to move the cards around in your hand. What's everybody else doing when this is happening? Because drawing someone's fortune is like a spiritual moment. It's an event. You know, are you paying attention? Are you like politely looking away? What are the two of you doing?
I'm paying attention.
Yeah, you're watching. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretending that I'm not paying attention because I'm like playing with my loot, but I actually am very curious.
Okay. All right. So you shuffle the deck, and at some point, Mop, you're expected to say, stop, and the deck is cut. The top card is taken from the deck and placed in front of you. So we have a card. Unfortunately,
Did you draw it? I'm not seeing
I
it.
did. Yeah. It's okay. I'll show you.
Okay.
So you draw the card, and let me grab it from the deck here, and place it. I guess before I flip it over, you place it face down. Do you say anything before you turn it? Do you have like a ritual that you do? I want to know what Belian is doing.
With Belian, it's not the religious aspect of it that he's focused on. It's more the academic, very formulaic. You make sure you cash your hands this many times. You say this and that, and you start channeling. And I grab your hands. I'm like, so just to warn you, just fortunes aren't set in stone, and whatever happens, these are one possible path, no matter what you see here. Just remember.
I look down at the card and look at Belina, then look down at the card more concerned. Okay.
All right. So you reach down and turn the card over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there she is. So upon the card, we see a pale horse, and astride the horse, a rider, in black armor, a dark flag upon it. Now, I guess, Mop, how do you respond when you see the grim visage of death upon the card?
It's all internal. There's nothing like external in response. Okay. And I'd wait for Belian to say anything if he's going to say anything. But internally, it's more of just like, well, I've seen and been around this before. I know how this goes.
So death is not about just like bad, horrible, everybody dying kind of shit. Death has a powerful energy. Death is about in the tarot, in the arcana, death is not about necromancy or rot or badness. It's about closing a door so that you can open another. It's about putting the past behind you, ending a chapter, going through a transition, and eliminating excess. It's about, yes, experiencing inexorable forces. It's about destiny picking you up and dragging you along with it, but it doesn't always lead to bad things. Death is a necessary part of the arcana and is representative of all things coming to an end so that you may start something new. How do you interpret it for your client, Belian? What do you say?
I know you might be like, oh my god, right now. Just calm down. It doesn't mean you're going to die, but I mean you're going to eventually at some point. You can't escape that.
I'm fine, Belian.
But this means that something is about to end in your life. Something you're holding on to, a grudge, an event, a moment that you've been thinking is going to happen. Your life is going to change very soon. you don't know how, but there's something that you're holding on to, and that you need to let go of. And if you don't, it'll be ended for you forcefully.
Thank you.
While you're having this internal thoughts about your death card you just got, I'm gonna speak up, or walk over to you and put my hand on your shoulder and say, "We can't let this demon they speak of stay on this earth, or this plane.
No.
Will you go with me to stop it?"
To fight a demon, that you do realize they are, well, demons, and they have lots of power, and they like to kill and maim and torture and seduce and corrupt and capture and enslave and torture and give back. Like,
I do.
I'm
And
down.
you're okay with leaving that?
Well, I remember reading. Now, I wasn't supposed to be reading the book, but if they can be bargained with. If
This bit is all like we fade to a like a woodcut style like drawing of like Belian Dim skulking through a library, drawing a forbidden book down and like opening up, and all these like kind of raunchy woodcuts of demons like having sex with people. Like, ooh, I shouldn't have read this, but I did.
Ooh, yeah. but yeah, like, if we could make a deal with the demon. I know it sounds bad, but
Luther's eyes get really big when you say this. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know. But if you make the deal correctly and you word it correctly, they have to follow the order of your bargain, and they could get us home.
Or we could just get ourselves home. Do you hear yourself? A deal with a demon. You're not that-
Yes, but I know the odds are very low, but so is tracking through an army of the undead. So it's just one option. I've just thrown it out there. Just
I don't think we have enough information to really make the decision now. I need to speak to the monks more. Or do I know how far away this swamp or whatever? Did I get enough information from him?
I mean, you saw that map, right? That
Yeah.
Belian laid out. Yeah, I mean, it's like maybe a day or so from here, day and a bit.
Okay. Look, I can't expect you guys to willingly walk to where a demon is on the words of these monks, these insane monks that we just met. But I can't leave something like this alone. I have to check it out.
I'll follow.
What? Why can't we just leave it alone? It's not our problem. We're not living here. The monks can deal with it. They're excited about it.
I do remember reading a book about something just like this. It's a story where a brave adventurer decided to go up against incredible odds against a great foe, not for him, but for the greater good of the kingdom.
Yes, I have read many stories of brave men going to fight incredible odds and dying.
Let us recall the tale of Ramus the Beautiful.
His entrails were spread across the street by a great beast, but it was very inspiring until that point.
I'll sit down across from Belian and what kind of deal do you speak of? What do you think that this demon would want? What can we possibly offer?
So here's a thing that I think every school child knows, and maybe Luther, you're not willing to like get up on this, but
Close mind.
all the Mara ever want is obedience from mankind, right? They can offer you gold, riches, immortality. All you have to do is step off the road to enlightenment, right? Take the shortcut. Why suffer for 1,000 generations when today you can have all you ever wanted? Just simply step off that golden path. That's all they want. All they want is for you to just turn your back on the gods. And if you do, You can have everything you ever dreamed of: safety, love, sanctity, riches, fame, anything. The Mara have the power to grant those to you. It just means that you have stepped away from the light of heaven.
As
Ah.
Luther thinks that, I think back to my childhood when Mayor Sanders was out doing this nonstop in the market as people kept trying to make deals with them.
Yeah.
Well, I went in this section a lot. I wasn't supposed to, but according to Albatross's study of the Mara, the thing that they crave the most is the holy giving up their vows. I'm just putting that out there. They love.
They do. A good corruption story is like the hottest shit. Those who claim most power in the gods are the sweetest meats to savor when they turn to darkness. Have you heard the tale of Darth Luther the Wise?
I like how you've spun this on me to where it's like, now I got to go sacrifice myself for you guys to get home.
Yeah, or say, get thee behind me, Satan. You got options. It's fine.
Oh my God. Wow, Luther's got some weight on his mind now. So
yeah, nothing is more delicious than a holy man turning his back on the gods. That's some good shit.
I think we should save that for a last ditch effort. I don't want to just sacrifice. I mean,
right? You gotta hold it back. You gotta play hard to get a little bit with these demons.
Yeah, I mean I'm okay with sacrificing myself for my country, my people, my soldiers. But what they would do with me after that may be far worse.
Yeah, just you could hold on to your life to just, kill the rest of us. It's fine.
Damn.
Mop is looking at the two of you very confused. I think eventually he speaks up as he sees you're actually considering this. And, Commander, you can't be actually considering this. It goes against...
It goes against everything.
It goes against everything that you've lived for.
But if we can't defeat it, maybe we can...
Who says we can't defeat it?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we can. By the light.
How many of you have ever fought and killed a demon?
I fight my demons every day.
Go, Mop.
Oh.
Yes.
For what I told you, you need to stop.
A real demon. None of you?
Not like smoking or whatever. A real one. A for reals demon.
Well, I've never seen one, but surely
You've never
you'd
seen a demon. You think you can fight it and kill it?
I don't know.
I like gotcha.
Did you think that you'd be a good performer when you wanted to be one at the beginning?
Of course.
Oh.
Like, he even suggested that.
Yeah, come on. I'm the best.
Well,
to be fair, you've never saw an undead horde, and you've managed to do quite well, my lady.
think of the songs you could sing.
When he says think of the songs you could sing, that actually kind of piqued my interest a little bit. And I was holding my lute because I was tuning it, and I kind of pluck a little bit of something. No, this is foolish. We can't fight a demon. We're here to return to the village to tell them what happened to the rest of our what's the word for it? The party or the I don't remember. Infantry.
I mean, your legion is dead, but the rest of the army
You're the commander. You're a military man. Where is your sense of loyalty to the war?
Wars don't matter much, madam, if you don't mind me interrupting. To those about to lose it, because they don't get to write the history books.
I don't even know if I can show my face after what's happened. I'll probably be put to death anyway. If we go, and things go bad, we need a backup plan for you to be able to get away. And if this deal happens to be that backup plan, Blind, what? How would you word a deal with Amara for you guys to be able to escape safely and possibly remove it from this plane?
Okay, I will need about 3 weeks to go through and make sure that I can think of every possible way to interpret it incorrectly or to twist my words around to use against me. So
Next week on Court Martial
Yeah.
of Swords.
All right. Well,
It's your call, Commander.
I can't, like I said, I can't make you guys go, but I am going.
I'll follow. Daxa will follow.
Kind of huff, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to walk anywhere by myself. So, like, if they're going, I kind of have to. Because I don't want to try and make it back to camp alone.
She needs
Yeah,
a
you
good
can-
song.
You can fall back to the monks if things go south. It's
what is your favorite animal, Daxa?
My favorite animal is the mockingjay. They have a beautiful song.
Oh my God! Look behind you. There's one right there. I cast minor illusion to create a perfect replica of one right behind her.
I thought you were just gonna make a balloon animal, but yeah, no, that's good too. That's also a good solution. Yeah. All right. Yeah. There's a bird. There's like a songbird that appears in your inside the tiny hut.
I don't know how to react to that.
Yeah. Right. Like it's clear Belian waves his arm like cast the spell. Like you can see that happening. So.
Thank you. Don't know what he's trying to get at, so I'm just like, sure, great.
Just wanted to make you happier. You looked upset. I'm sorry. I'm not good with people. I'm good with books.
To break the awkwardness.
Yeah.
That was very nice, Belian. I like snakes. Like, just cross
Screw
my
that.
arms.
I am not conjuring those demonic creatures.
Oh,
That's one thing I will not do. Don't say it again, sir.
okay. I apologize.
let's sleep on it and make our decision in the morning, or you make your decision in the morning. Let's get some rest.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, yeah, because of Belian Dim's spell, you are able to get a full night's rest. Everybody gets a long rest. You restore all your hit points and spells and special abilities and what have you. And you wake up in the morning, and I mean the town is still a ruin full of corpses, but you feel better about it. There's no sound coming from the temple, no chanting, no smoke rising from it when you wake up. The as before, like a soap bubble popped by a pin, the hut disappears, and you feel the onrush of the morning heat wash over you.
Belian, where does the hut go when it disappears?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
Oh, okay. Are you joining us, Belian?
I am a great master of the arcane, but I do need people to protect me, so I will go along.
You said the monks are not chanting right now, right?
No, there's silence from the House of the Fallen Sun.
Can we see in there from where we are? Or are we behind?
I mean, you could go check it out. You could go walk up and see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk and see if they're all dead or not.
Yeah, there's a ring of them lying on their backs in the courtyard, one of them, maybe the youngster that was talking to you before, is still like kind of alive. They're kind of like writhing around a little bit and groaning on the ground. The rest are still and dead.
Okay.
So are we just like walking past?
Yeah, I mean, you look into the temple grounds.
Okay, cool. So like as we're walking kind of by and we see that a lot of them have died, I just like kind of cheerfully wave, and I'm just like, oh, congratulations. Looks like it's going well. We're off to fight the Villabana.
Daxa, don't be rude.
The ones that are still alive.
There's only one. It's a 12-year-old, and they're lying on their back, holding their stomach, groaning.
All right, I'm gonna put him out of his misery and stab through the heart.
Okay, right. Yeah, you do. Dark blood splashes on the floor of the burnt temple.
Are you making breakfast?
Well, there's still food left. At a character, I'm like, oh my god, I hope these guys don't get back up anytime soon. But
Yeah, I mean, they've shed their mortal coils, so who knows what's to happen with their bodies.
yeah. All right. Want to grab some of the food that's left? Quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you've got there's another day of stuff there.
Yeah. Eat breakfast. I'm trying to do it as quickly as I can. Eat some of the food, pack some away that was left, and prepare for get going on the journey. And look around and who's coming with me?
I'm just looking around at all the death. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah. Lead on.
You're going to go into the temple, or just to continue where we're going?
To the Mara.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Swamps.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if it needs to be stated, I go and collect rations as well if there's enough to be shared.
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
four of us.
there's 2 days worth of rations for the group of you, so there would be like eight individual rations.
Okay.
In that supply.
Just everyone add 2 to your supply, then we'll divvy it up.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So 12 now because we ate yours the first time, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm at 8. Commander, do you know where we're going?
Oh, is the direction to the swamp the east or west?
Yeah. It's away from the road. I believe it's to the west. Yeah.
Oh man. I guess. Is this a pretty large swamp that we're gonna have to search for a long time to figure out where they are?
I mean, you're a paladin. You're attuned
I
to
can,
corruption. You could probably track that shit fairly easily.
Okay, yeah. And I'll point in the direction we're heading and to the swamps.
All right.
Swamp.
All right. So you gather the supplies. It takes, less than an hour to prepare what you need, and load up your bags and head west from the village, knowing that somewhere off to your right is home and safety, but that you're not going in that direction any longer. The sun is rising, I guess, behind you, and the jungle and the land around you begins to radiate that heat as the sun falls on you, and you trudge out into the wetlands. Who's leading this expedition?
I am.
Yeah. Okay. Can you make a survival check for me?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
18.
Oh yeah, no problem. Okay. All right. So you managed to lead the party in that direction, and I think that we get this sort of montage because it's a day passes as you head out into the marshlands to the west. In the distance, you can see you're kind of heading towards a ridge of low foothills, and then further back from that, a kind of faint, hard to see wall of higher mountains where the dwarves of this region were said to have lived. And and as you head towards the hills, I think that the closer you get, the more you see these kind of abandoned dwarven ruins out in the marshland. So maybe there's like a corrupted tower that has fallen over that we see you eating your lunch in the shadow of. So there's this big sort of stone structure. Part of the top has fallen off. The sun is behind you. It's casting this deep black shadow from the ruined tower that falls on the group of you. And the group of you are sitting in the shadow of this tower, eating your rations midday. Everybody's just like sweaty, hair kind of like damp in your faces. It's pretty rough to be wearing a suit of armor and marching in this heat. But you can feel, Luther, you can feel the pull of this like darkness dwelling in the swamps beyond. The land here has gotten murkier and murkier as you go. So where when you started out, it was pretty solid once you were outside of the rice fields. Now it seems that the heat and the dampness in the air has pervaded even the soil. And so every step feels like 5, where you have to drag your boots up out of the mud. And by the time that you even get a chance to rest in this wan shadow, you're all covered in mud, and there's clouds of bugs following you through this journey. So there's a kind of like blackness to the air. And I think that we see the group of you sitting and breaking out your rations and eating. And in the distance, there's a faint kind of luminousness to the horizon, and maybe it's just a mirage of the heat. Maybe it's just the wavering of the earth kind of giving up the heat of the sun, but it might be something more. There's a greenness to the west that you're heading into, and I don't know if anybody else feels it, but Luther, definitely you feel a weight in your heart, as though you'd eaten something bad. You feel a brick in your chest. Something that lies before you is weighing on your soul. And I think that we get this vignette, this kind of like oil painting style, like look at the group of you, the tower partly crumbled, and all this ruin around you in the swamp, as we fade to our second break.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, still 2 hours left to go. We'll find out if we meet our demise in the next hour, as it might be cut short. We'll find out then. We'll be right back after this break.